Yep, Razaketh, Kodama, Seedborn Muse, that is 3 quality targets right there. Uh-oh, I foresee a problem. Opponent has put Helm of the Host on this Luminant Primordial. Also, our commander cost a full 10 more than its original casting cost. Here's what that looks like.
Today on Commander Replay, I become the thing I hate, piloting Meren of Clan Neltoth over this 17-turn grindfest. Next on Commander Replay. Help support me and save 15% on singles by using the promo code REPLAY at mothershipaTX.com. Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Meren of Clan Neltoth today. Today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jared. Let's take a look at this opener. There's a Buried Alive, an Ashnod's Altar, Toxic Deluge. No ramp, no card draw, but like Buried Alive is very good. How many creatures in here? 29 creatures. With 29 creatures, I feel like we'll draw into a creature pretty quickly, so I think we can keep this. I know we could like try to mull to something a little better. I mean, the curve's really low in this deck. Doesn't appear to be like tons and tons of ramp. I think this hand is fine. We'll give our opponents a fighting chance. Keep this hand. So yeah, we're playing Meren, the Karen of commander decks. In a word, I hate Meren. I hate this commander. I hate everything about it. Today is going to be a truly interesting experience. I have never played Meren at any point in my commander career. Even before the channel, when I was just playing for fun on Magic Online, never picked up Meren. I'll talk about it more in a second. Brings it to our turn 1. There's an Eternal Witness. Play this Verdant Catacombs. Crack a Verdant Catacombs. Nothing to do on 1 here, so I think Woodland Chasm should be just fine. And we'll pass like that. And I'll clarify my statements here a little bit. I don't hate playing this deck right now. I just hate that Meren exists. Like, I do think this is actually going to be a very interesting experience piloting this deck, and one that I've never done before, because I just don't care for Meren. I've never played it, so... but I do think this will be an interesting character-building kind of experiment, and we'll see how it goes. But... oh, that's an Esper Sentinel for opponent. Nice. Kami of the False Hope for Fish Said Fish. Pretty good one. Brings back to our turn. There's a Tribelder. That's a really good one in this deck. Play the Tribelder. Pass like that. So, there are a few reasons that I don't like Meren. The first is, it's heinously strong, and especially for the time that it was printed in, commanders just weren't that strong back then. There were a handful of good ones, and everything else was, like, fairly tame. And the second is that, like, even though there were good commanders back then, they still required, like, build around. Like, Kaalia was a good deck, but you still had to, like, twist your deck to have these big, largely uncastable creatures in your hand if Kaalia went down. Even as heinous as, like, Maelstrom Wanderer is, you still have to ramp really hard to get to Maelstrom Wanderer, and you do pay the price a little bit in that a lot of times you will. One of your Cascades will probably just hit more ramp now. They never don't have access to their commander in that deck, unless you fire off an Armageddon or something like that, but Meren just feels like it doesn't have any of those restrictions. Just play any type of decent creatures, and you will probably win the game and just destroy your opponents with value. So that's the first thing. The first thing is just the overall power level, and especially that power level for the time that the card was printed. And there's a Grand Abolisher for opponent. The second is the ubiquity of Meren on Magic Online around 2016. Everyone was playing Meren, and like some really heinous builds of it too. Oops, I forgot to crack Tribelder. I got chatting. That's fine. We can just who's the commander over here? Livio. That being the case, maybe we hold off on all this stuff and just go Swamp, Ashnod's Altar, save the Tribelder for next turn, cast Meren, and then sack it. Seems like a reasonable play. We don't have the mana to pay for the thing, so they can draw a card. But yeah, Meren was everywhere on Magic Online because it was one of the strongest in Magic Online. Open games on Magic Online are incredibly power hungry, and there is no sense of like, this is a social format. 1v1 Commander on Magic Online plays very similar to a Vintage tournament, especially now because a lot of the 1v1 Commander decks win on turn 1 or 2. And that's why I don't really play open games on Magic Online anymore. Just a really heinous environment. But yeah, Meren was everywhere. I would say it was probably like 1/3 of the decks that I faced in like 2015, 2016. Number 3, Kind of going back to the power thing a little bit, Meren in comparison to Kalemne is just laughable, right? Kalemne is such a poorly designed card, and Meren was like probably the most pushed commander ever printed up to that point. And like when you just look at the design philosophy, like it's just mind-boggling how Meren was released the way it is and Kalemne was released the way it is. Like the other 3 decks from that year are reasonable. Like Mizzix is a little bit strong, but if you shoot Mizzix, then you're probably fine. They can run a million counterspells if they want to, which like isn't the best, but as good as Mizzix is, I beat Mizzix decks over the years. I would say that in terms of like win-loss rate, I have probably lost 85% of the games that I've ever played against a Meren deck. And like, I get it, I wasn't the best commander deck builder back then, and I wasn't trying to build like these highly spiky decks, but it's just a commander that like does too much, and I can't believe Meren and Kalemne are from the same set. It's such a hard thing to digest. And, you know, at the time, there were not a lot of Boros commanders, probably less than 10. At the time, that was pretty upsetting for me because I wanted to be playing Boros decks and more so just not playing the same 3 decks that everyone online played. And that brings it back to our turn. There's a Marsh Flats. Play the Marsh Flats. Correct the Marsh Flats. Get Overgrown Tomb. Pay the life. Cast Meren. Sack the Tribe Elder. Get a counter. Uh-oh. Yeah, opponent's just going to path Meren straight away. Because that's what you have to do. That is a thing that needs to happen. And they're probably going to have to do that 2 or 3 more times. We'll get a forest. Get another forest. We don't have any blockers, which isn't amazing. But we did just ramp, so we're now on 6 lands on turn 4. And, like, there wasn't even a Soul Ring involved in this. And that Tribe Elder will be back.
I'll be back.
Continuing, this was almost going to segue perfectly into reason number 4 that I don't like Meren, but then opponent shot our commander, is the line of text where if you don't have enough experience counters, you return the creature to your hand. None of the other commanders from that set have a clause about if you don't have enough counters, this is what you do. And that also makes it really frustrating. Like, if they got rid of the return it to hand part, it would still be incredibly good. And of the 85% of games that I've lost to Meren, you know, maybe my win rate goes up 5, maybe 10% as a result of the doesn't put it back in the hand text. But, like, it's not hugely going to impact the level of the deck. It's just going to make it a little bit less insane. And probably the final reason is Meren is one of those decks where they can have like only lands in play on like turn 7 or turn 8 and then just bring Meren back and then their board state's insane, right? It rebuilds so fast. Nothing ever really dies. I'm guilty of not running enough graveyard removal in most of my decks, so that's definitely a thing. But even when I do run graveyard removal, like a lot of times it's just not good enough. If you drop a Rest in Peace or drop a Tormod's Crypt or something, they're going to hit it with a Reclamation Sage, and then they're still just going to do all the things they were going to do anyway. I've had that happen a lot of times. And in one glorious moment, I dropped a Rest in Peace that a kid never got rid of. And he did very little that game, and it was the most amazing thing ever. Anyway, brings it back to our turn. There's a forest. Play this command beacon, just in case of a wheel or something weird. Play the Meren. Spend most of our mana to do it. Opponent's going to crack an Armillary Sphere, that's fine. So anyway, yeah, those are the reasons that I don't like Meren. I think I've now done like a very tight 10-minute set on why I don't like Meren. We can now get into actually enjoying our way through this game. Yeah, there's the end step trigger. We're going to get this Tribe Elder back to our hand. So good. Thinking about Kalemne a little bit, like, I have videos on it. At the time, I was deeply upset about the design of Kalemne. It's just so bad. Like, the first ability with the counters has no relation to the second ability. They're like 2 completely separate things that want separate decks. It's just the weirdest thing. Kalemne by itself as a 3/3 with double strike and vigilance is like pretty solid as a Voltron commander. There's better options now, but at the time, you could build a fairly nasty version with Kalemne. The only thing you really had to do was just dodge spot removal, which is tricky, but you could be very fast with that deck. But you always feel like you were giving something up because of the way those abilities worked, right? Like, you were basically just ignoring the experience counter ability on Kalemne because that's how bad the design was. From that standpoint, I always thought it should have been cast in equipment and then reduce the equip amount by that much. That would be a really cool ability and like would have made sense in that time and would have been decently competitive, right? It's not going to be this Meren deck, but we're seeing a lot of free equip commanders now, and they're very good. Free equips for equipments are very, very good. So something like that would have been cool. Sure, it would have taken a couple turns to kind of get those counters going, but after that, would have been a very solid deck and a very solid design. It's probably about 2 or 3 years ago at this point. Probably at least 3 years ago because of the pandemic. But I faced a kid in a cedh game. This is back when I was testing Akiri Bruce. And kid had a cedh Marin deck. So it was a lot of stacks. And I was blown away about how strong it was. He got an early root maze down, like turn 1 or turn 2 or something. And that just crushed everything. There may have been like a null rod after that or something like that. And that was pretty much that. So cedh has changed a little bit. I don't know if that deck would still work. I'm sure it's not bad by today's standards, but I don't know if that's like truly tier 1 at this point in time. Anyone that keeps up on cedh might know. But yeah, that kind of opened my eyes because like I've always known Marin's too strong, but seeing it perform against the best of the best, essentially. Not my Akiri deck, but the other 2 decks at the table. Very respectable cedh decks that he just demolished, right? No one could do anything. Anyway, we should get caught up on the game here. A lot of things came down while I was talking. We'll start with Sergeant Flintlock over here. They are piloting Kodama of the East Tree with Livio. So it looks like that's going to be a Blink type deck and possibly trying to abuse Kodama with that. They do have a Thraben Inspector and a Clue in play. In the middle, we've got Eric Yodo playing Arden and Vial Smasher. That's an interesting pair. I haven't seen that pair. Go big smash with Arden and then use Vial Smasher as just like backup damage in case, I guess. Should be interesting. But they do have a Stolen strategy in play, one you don't see that much of. A weird card that looks really cool on the surface, but I've gotten surprisingly few triggers with Stolen strategy. It's the type of thing where, like, unless your deck is really built to take advantage of your opponent's cards probably don't help you all that much a lot of the time. So, like, it's decent, but I was a little disappointed. Honestly, it probably could have been 1 mana cheaper. It's pretty slow at 5 mana. Brings back to our turn. There's a Vampire Tutor. That one's pretty nasty. Let's play this Forest, play this Tribe Elder, play this Buried Alive. Esper Sentinel. We'll pay for this one. I don't actually know what we're doing with the rest of our mana. We could not pay, and we could just kill the Esper Sentinel with the Merciless Executioner. Let's do that. More creatures dying seems good for Meren. Oh, who we putting into the graveyard? Definitely this Razaketh. Yawgmoth is good for just about everything, right? And Spore Frog seems like it might be a good idea. Probably should have grabbed a Rex Sage in there too, but I guess Razaketh gets to that. Then play this Merciless Executioner. And let the pain commence! Sacrifice the Executioner to itself. Uh-oh. Yep. We have fished out another path. Well, we'll probably have to sack the Tribe Elder to the Merciless Executioner ability. I actually don't know if shooting Meren is correct right there. This is a fairly awkward play for us, but we still just get these things back. So maybe shooting Meren was correct there. That one gets exiled, or I guess they exile that. We could have sacked it, but I wanted the land. We'll be fine. There's more copies of that thing. I think there's about 4 of these now. I don't know how many are in the deck, but get a swamp. Sack the Tribe Elder. I guess we should have also sacked it to the mana. We don't have much to do with the mana, but we would have got another counter on Meren. Oops. Another experience counter. Go to the end step. We could attack, but there's a bunch of stuff over here. Having a 3/4 back is helpful. Another thing, too, is that as a 4-mana 3/4 with its ability, it's actually pretty large. We could get Spore Frog so we don't take all the damage. That seems like a good idea. Let's do that. So, like, you know, as a 4-mana 3/4 like that, it's just hard to attack into early in a game. By the mid-game, especially if you're a Voltron deck, you can attack past it, but, you know, it takes a sizable creature to be able to actually get through a Meren, so that's also just another little thing, right? If it were a 3/3, that means that, like, you'd probably have to trade in a lot of the early parts of the game. I know these creatures aren't particularly big, but like a 3/3 or a 3/2 would trade with a lot of things, and it just wouldn't stay in play as much. As a 3/4, it's fairly durable for its mana cost. If it were printed today, it would be like a 6/6. There's an Acidic Slime. I'm curious to see what this goes after. Our Sec Outlet is not a bad idea, but we do have the Eternal Witness to get it back. Opponent does have a Nylea in play now. Really good card. I do like cost reduction on creatures. Something I've really ramped up a lot in the past, like, maybe 2 years or so, is putting a lot more cost reduction in my decks. Flintlock is asking what the target is for Acidic Slime, and he's trying to ask what's more scary, the Ashnod's Altar or the Stolen Strategy. Ashnod's Altar, 1000%. If he says it's our own altar, yeah, I mean, we have a plan to get it back, but at least we have to spend an Eternal Witness to do it. I mean, there's a thing, like, we just lost our combo piece, and I don't even care that much. That's how strong this deck is. And I'm not saying we're going to win the game, right? If everyone gangs up on us, we might not be able to overcome that, but, like, it's going to be an uphill battle for our opponents. We'll set a stop on our upkeep. I don't know if it's like a reanimate or animate dead or something. Some way to pull out the Razaketh might be cool. Let's take a peek at the deck. Stolen Strategy trigger. Dark Confidant from us, Eidolon of Blossoms, and Smuggler's Copter. Yeah, like, this is what I'm talking about, is that Eidolon of Blossoms is cool, but if you're not an Enchantress deck, it's not going to help you that much. The other two are decent value, but there is a Reanimate in the deck that's kind of a lot of life loss, but I guess we can just get Grey Merchant afterwards to make up for that. Yeah, that's probably what we'll do. There was one card missing on Magic Online, by the way. It was a green 4-drop. Can't remember the name of it. It was in a Commander product. So it wasn't available, so I just added this Moonlight Bargain. A little more card draw. Never hurt anyone, so. Toxic Deluge, X5. Oh, that's not the worst. That's a Brainstorm from opponent. We're just going to crack the Spore Frog. Make sure no Hasties come down and hurt us. Do we have a Living Death or something like that? No Living Death. That being the case, I'll probably just let Meren go back to the command zone then. If we had a Living Death, I'd probably go Graveyard and just Vampiric Tutor and then bring them all back. Meren's going to be on 8 mana now, though. That's a bit. We do need to catch a land, actually. So this is 1, Reanimate's 1, that's 2. Yeah, we'll be a little bit short of recasting Meren, but we could go Eternal Witness, get back the altar, and that way have sack fodder to the Razaketh. Meren to the command zone. I guess the other thing is, like, maybe we just need cards, but Razaketh gets us cards. Yawgmoth also gets us cards, but it does require creatures. And cards go into exile. Seedborn Muse is kind of disgusting. What are they playing? This is Fish's Esior and Sidar Kondo deck, so it looks like small creatures that attack deck. Or a mutation on the Stolen Strategy. Great card. They're going to Boros Charm, yeah. I think they still get the Saprolings, though. We're going to Vampiric Tutor on our upkeep. What does Persist do? Turn target non-legendary card. No, that's not what we want. Coffers is also really strong. Yeah, I think I'm just on Reanimate. I think that's how you do it. Get Reanimate. Let's do it this way. Let's cast Eternal Witness first. Get back the Ashnod's Altar. Actually, I mean, like, do we even need the Ashnod's Altar? We could get the Yawgmoth, which is also a sack outlet and card draw. Let's get that back. It's like reasonably hard castable also. I don't actually know the value between those two. Like, if I had played this deck more, I might know which is better than the other, but use the ability. Reanimate. Get Razaketh. Oh, and then we'll have exactly enough to cast the Yawgmoth. How about that? All the mana worked out. Razaketh's in play. Cast the Yawgmoth. Pass like that. Coffers is always a good idea. We could use the card draw, though. Might have to go for that Moonlight Bargain, although our life's getting low. And it will get lower if we start drawing and tutoring. So Grey Merchant's probably going to be a factor here, too. Kodama of the East Tree. Boreas Charger for opponent. Stolen Strategy. Diabolic Intent. I'm sure they didn't want us to have that. And a Luminant Primordial. We have sack outlets, so we don't have to get exiled if they want to go that way. It is probably worth it, though, to cast the Luminant Primordial right here. Because you can clean up the Seedborn Muse, which is notoriously a problem. Kodama is also a problem, and we'd have to at least sack our Razaketh. Yeah, here comes the Luminant Primordial. So, Stolen Strategy, finding something helpful for our opponents. And let's see what they want to go after. Yep, Razaketh, Kodama, Seedborn Muse, that is 3 quality targets right there. We are going to use the Razaketh ability, sack the Eternal Witness. Ooh, Kakusho might be better life gain right now because how much Devotion to Black are we going to have? 4, so that'll be 12 damage, 12 life versus 15 on Kakusho. They're about the same. Where is this guy? There he is, Grey Merchant of Asphodel. You cannot sacrifice Razaketh to itself, but you can sacrifice it to a Yawgmoth, so we'll do that. Oh, what's worth shooting? We'll shoot this Boreas Charger. Just kind of free value right there. Sacrifice the Razaketh. Abrupt Decay. Helpful. Don't know the order that they'll get shown, but I had a really cool game with Archangel Avacyn ETBs, and I got a lot of things done with Luminant Primordial. It blinked multiple times in the game. There was a lot of exile happening. Not a card you get to run very much, but if you can, if it makes sense in your deck, it can be really cool. The mana is prohibitive, though. I wish it was a bit cheaper. At like, I mean, even at 6 mana, it would probably be pretty good. 7 is just a hard place to get to in white in Commander. And like, the 7 drops of white decks is so crowded. Like, this isn't better than Elish Norn. So like, if you're talking about a white deck, here's generally like the 3 best white 7 drops. Elish Norn far and away is the best. After that, you can look at some of the angels. Bruna is good for decks that can reanimate and has the right creature types. Reconnaissance mission for opponent, sure. And Ameria Shepherd. Ameria Shepherd is absolutely insane, and like, it just got a lot better with the printing of Hearth and Home. So, you know, in your white deck, you probably get about 3/7 drops, and that's really about it, and even that might be pushing it for a lot of people, but I do like my higher mana curves, and, you know, it's just hard to justify Luminant Primordial against those 3. Those 3 cards are... And I feel like I'm missing one, too. Also, there's a new one, Sarah's Emissary. Sarah's Emissary is insane. You and creatures you control have protection from creatures, so you can't be attacked, you can't be blocked, and any abilities or anything from creatures just doesn't concern you. Pretty crazy. So yeah, Luminant just gets outclassed by a lot of things. At 6 mana, you could probably justify that into a lot of decks. Makes me sad. While we're talking about it, I got to play a game with Gavin Verhey at Magic Fest Austin. This was early 2020. I think it was January 2020 before the pandemic. And he said the original design for this card was to get 3 equipments, which of course is very exciting to me. And I'm now very sad that we can't have that version of it. I would love him to just like jam that into a set somewhere, but you know, it needs to make sense in that set. And it's the type of thing that, like, because it's part of a cycle, that probably just never happens. But, I mean, I get it at 7 mana, you know, at 7 mana I probably wouldn't play it. It would need to be cheaper than that now. But, you know, cards like Fighter Class have come out, which is a really good equipment tutor. So, I'm not that worried about it, but it would have been really cool to have his initial vision for Luminant Primordial. I think part of the problem, too, is that I don't recall there being particularly good equipment in Return to Ravnica block. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Damnation. I don't think we need a Damnation yet. Got 2 board wipes in hand, so we're ready to go on all that. Do we just Grey Merchant? Yeah, probably. How much is our commander? 8? Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. Cast a Grey Merchant. We are 1 mana short of being able to command Beacon and then recast Meren, which is unfortunate. So we'll just try to do that. We'll just try to get Meren next turn, I guess. Grey Merchant comes in and is going to sting everyone for 4. Gain us a lot of life back. Back to 31, feeling reasonably healthy. And we'll pass like that. Sit on the Abrupt Decay. Yeah, we don't need to attack. We're not that kind of deck. Keeps these 1/1s away, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you can just run your opponents out of removal. Opponents have fired quite a bit at us. At some point, they're going to run out. When that happens, we will rebuild our board state within a turn, and things will be wild. Livio. Snake Umbra, sure. I need to use the Umbra armors more. I always kind of forget about them. I'm not a big aura guy. Stolen Strategy. Viscera Seer and Narset. Gross. I guess it really comes down to what they have in their hand. Does this have the any color clause on it? Yes. They can spend mana as over any color. Narset coming in, yeah. It's a good safety valve. In the game before this, Mock was piloting his Gargos deck, and he drew upwards of 30 cards throughout the game. Had a greater good in play at the end, but ran out of mana. So, like, Narset guards against that type of stuff. Fish does like her card draw. Gonna use the ability on Narset, sure. I opened almost an entire box of War of the Spark. Uh-oh. We can't sack this to itself, can we? Nope, we cannot. Are we sacrificing the Grey Merchant to draw a card? Yes, I think we are. Shoot a token. Sack the Grey Merchant. Nope, it is out of range of this. Otherwise, I might shoot our own thing. But yeah, losing that sack outlet earlier, that's what even makes this kind of possible. Otherwise, we would just like sack it, cast Marin, and get it right back. And it's like nothing ever happened. There's a land that we need. 4 over to Fish, sure. Baird Steward of Argive coming in, sure. We are having quite a few things exiled this game, and most of them are from the Stolen Strategy, so if nothing else, it's just exiling our stuff, which is not that helpful to us. Yet another sack outlet goes down. We've lost 2 to exile and 1 to destroy. That's a Cyclonic Rift. We have nothing. Opponent stuff will get crushed. Yeah, that's the thing with this deck, too, is that we only need mana. We just need mana and our commander to stay in play. And, I mean, a well-stocked graveyard, but that's a very easy thing to do. I'm not sure that Rift makes all that much sense. The only person, like, they lose a little. Eric loses a bit, but Eric's not, like, super threatening. Maybe they just want their Narset back. If they try to Narset wheel, we can shoot the Narset. They will force opponent to discard. Oh, yeah, here comes that Narset. They did that main phase. Yeah, okay, so they're just really trying to get that Narset. They're going to look... Do we just shoot the Narset now and just, like, be done with it? I think we do. No, we'll be on 10 next turn, which is enough to cast Meren and leave up Abrupt Decay. That's what I was thinking about, so we'll just do that. We can stay open. 2/1/1's going on the attack. I probably send them all with that reconnaissance mission out there. It brings it back to our turn. Another land. Play the command tower. Play Meren. Go to the end step. What do we want? I think Eternal Witness is a pretty good idea right here. Get Eternal Witness. And I think we get back the altar just because that's the hardest thing to get back. All the creatures kind of come back on their own, so... Let's get the Ashnod's Altar. We could probably go for the Vampiric Tutor, but we've been having trouble keeping our sack outlets in play, and sack outlets are very helpful to us. A lot of exile this game. Altar into the hand, pass like that. Nylea back to play. Voyaging Satyr. Livio. Yeah, the one thing I don't like about Livio is just too much mana. Why is it so much mana to activate those abilities? Snake Umbra. Like, the combined cost there should not be 5. 3, maybe. Talisman. Arcane Signet. Baird coming back. I'm curious to see if Fish tries to get nasty with this Narset. She went to great lengths to get it back, so... she does have an Arcane Denial from the last Narset activation, but fortunately, Abrupt Decay can't be countered, so... As long as it's not a Narset reversal, we're good. That is a Supreme Verdict. That we don't have as much for. Yeah, I guess that just happens. Back to the command zone. Scavenging Ooze. That's a problem for us. That's where this Abrupt Decay is going to have to go. Yep, they're starting it. Well, we're just going to shoot it. We're probably going to lose some stuff here. She has a lot of green mana left. Yep. Razaketh down. It'd be sweet if she tried to hit it with the Arcane Denial, because I think we would still draw. Oh, they get Spore Frog? Yeah, Spore Frog's exiled. Eternal Witness is exiled. The thing goes down. They're leaving up mana for Arcane Denial. And they go Thassa's Oracle. Okay. So we'll be able to get Marin back. Brings it back to our turn. Skull Clamp is a magic card. Play the Forest. Cast our commander. What are we on, 10? Maybe it's time for the command beacon. I really want to get the Skull Clamp on Marin. Marin into our hand. Cast Marin. Skull Clamp. Skull Clamp on Marin. Ashnod's Altar. And pass like that. We can go Tribelder to play or Grey Merchant to hand. I might go Tribelder just to start pulling lands out. Next turn, probably start on the Grey Merchant. Pass like that. Actually, if we don't need to crack the Tribelder, then might just feed it to the Skull Clamp, because I think we just need more. We need more cards, more so than we need more lands. Like, you know, in the card draw, we might catch some lands, but basically 2 cards versus 1 is kind of what we're talking about. So there has been a lot of removal this game. If you look at our opponent's life totals, 31, 25, and 33, meaning not a lot of damage has been done. And Fish's deck looks like it was kind of an aggro deck, but it's just been board wipes and sacrifice and exile and nothing, a big bounce spell, nothing has stayed in play. There's a Kodama, though. That will probably get opponent up to speed. They can, especially if they can untap with it. Stolen Strategy coming back. Opponent has not yet cast Vial Smasher, but they totally could right here. Windborn Muse. I think it's a Pillow Fort deck, is what it looks like. Fire and Ice is a magic card. No good attacks, though. Everyone has off-color creatures for the Fire and Ice. I don't know if they want to spend the mana to go in here, also. Yeah, they're going to do it. Probably going to shoot the Tribelder, I would imagine. That would shut off our card draw. They pay. Oh, you want to... Ooh, they might not shoot the Tribelder because we can sack it in response, and that would fizzle the trigger. Reconnaissance and Fire and Ice trigger. Yeah, they just go to the face of opponent. Our opponents have also paid surprisingly little attention to us this game, and we are playing a heinous commander. Now, it hasn't stayed in play like more than a turn at any point in this game, but if it does that, we're probably going to win. We got through that. Fantastic. I feel like I'm dodging bullets on Fish's turn while this Narset's in play. There's a heuristic study. It's not the wheel. That's really just what I'm hoping on. I'm hoping not the wheel. Really wanted to use that Abrupt Decay on Narset, but we can actually just attack into the Narset now. So we'll probably do that. Yeah, that's going to bring it back to our turn. High Market is a sack outlet since we've been having trouble with those. Also a little life gain should we need it. Send the Tribelder over to... There's a 6/6 in play, isn't there? We can get some attacking going, I think. Let's just send both at Narset in case there's like a bounce spell or removal spell or something. Really just don't want to have to worry about the wheel combo. Fish still has Arcane Denial. Narset goes down finally. Can stop talking about it. Now that we're out of combat, put the Skull Clamp on the Tribe Elder. Meren counter, Skull Clamp triggers. 2 lands is not what we were looking for. Was hoping to catch something there. That is not it. We've already played a land. Skull Clamp back on Meren. Go to the end step, and we'll get back the Grey Merchant. Meren on Grey Merchant. I'm surprised that one didn't get exiled. Because that's the finisher. That's the one that kills you. It comes back. Sting opponents for 3 more. And our life is going up. 41. Pass like that. Kodama, primed to have a big turn right here. Land, trigger. Fetch land, Kodama, trigger. Yep. Seems like they might be out of lands. Which means 6 cards of gas in their hand. Probably going to see a few of them really soon. Livio. Rhystic Study. We played around the Rhystic Study by not casting any spells during our turn. Opponent pays. Nah, didn't exactly go wild. Maybe they're just trying to protect Kodama with Livio and have the big turn next turn. It's getting a little late. It's turn 11, but been a weird game up to this point. A lot of removal. No one currently has a board state that says, I'm just going to win on my turn. Oh, that's a start. Opponent gets a Great Henge and a Beast Within. I'd prefer not to lose our Skull Clamp. Beast Within a little pricey with only Windborn Muse in play. Or the Great Henge, rather. Beast Within, I'm curious to see where this goes. Up on the sack outlet. All right. Yep, gotta blow up sack outlet. There's a school of thought where they could have gone after one of Fish's things. They pay for the Rhystic Study. But, yeah, shooting the sack outlets kill you. So, I get it. Is there a Timeless Witness in this deck? Negative. That's probably one that I would add. I mean, the question is really whether do you need to make this deck stronger? If it is, add a Timeless Witness. The 3/3 that we'll get does give us something to feed the Skull Clamp. Fish cycles a farmland. Yep. Still sitting on that Arcane Denial. No one's really gone for the big play. Great Henge into exile. Makes me happy. Nervous about what Fish has. Still has 6 cards. I think is leading the table on mana. Bant colors. I don't know. Bant colors make me nervous. You got green and blue in there. Probably the 2 colors that I hate facing the most. Simic plus white. Esior coming back in. I'm going to guess that it is a Lab Man win in this deck. She's down to 55 cards. Yeah, if we could not dawdle with getting rid of Fish here, that'd probably be a good idea. Lotus Cobra is a problem. Avacyn Pilgrim. Okay, small creatures. 3/5 back to Eric. They have some bad blood or something. 'Cause baby, now we got bad blood. They're just going to block. Cool. Opposition Agent is a real Magic card. Play a Forest, I guess. Move the Skull Clamp. Let's put it on the Beast. Send these 2 into Fish. Ooh, they're going to trade the Cobra. That actually makes me happy. That works out perfectly. Cobra can lead to some big turns, so I'm happy to get that one out of here. And we were going to kill this anyway. That'll still leave our high market up, which is nice. Marin and Skull Clamp trigger. Land Sylvan Library is decent. Maybe not the land, but the Sylvan Library, definitely. No other experience counter. There's nothing really that big in the deck. Razaketh was the big one, and that's already exiled, so we're not really working our way toward big creatures, which is disappointing. Kokusho's the only other one above 5. Grey Merchant's the only one at 5. Skull Clamp, the Grey Merchant. Play the sacrifice the Grey Merchant. Skull Clamp and Marin, and we've refilled our hand. Worldly Tutor is a Magic card, as is Wood Elves. Oh, imagine if that Ashnod's Altar had survived. We'd be having a turn. Play the Wood Elves. Rhystic Study. We actually cast a spell. We should probably pay for this. I don't want Fish having more cards. Anything cool we can get with Worldly Tutor? Pawn of Ulamog might speed us up a little. Pitiless Plunder. It's just kind of value. There isn't really end the game now type card. What's this thing do? Is this thing kind of crazy? If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it with a void counter. Sacrifice it, choose an exiled card. You may cast it this turn. Okay. Without paying its mana cost. That's pretty interesting. We can also just get Kokusho and start the Kokusho magic. Let's pay. Wood Elves. Forest. Sylvan Library. Think she's gonna get that draw. Yeah, she's gonna get that draw. So I want to leave up Opposition Agent and Worldly Tutor and equip. Can we equip the Skull Clamp? No, we can't do all of them. Not paying. Skull Clamp on... Let's go on our commander. It's the thing that's most likely to die. We could use the blocker with Wood Elves. Meren. Get back, Grey Merchant. Yeah, I mean, that goes back to my earlier point, is like, we got hit with Graveyard Exile. They left us a creature. It only takes one good one with Marin. There's another Grey Merchant trigger. Our life total keeps climbing. 51, pass like that. Opponents can activate Nylea. Sure. Oh, that's an Enlightened Tutor. Turn off auto yields. We are going to play this opposition agent. Sorry, opponent. Can't pay for the Rhystic Study. Never actually use this card. See how this goes. We get to search opponent's deck for stuff. What do we need? Erebos' card draw. Shadow Spear is fine. That's cute. This makes damage go a little quicker. We could get another Skull Clamp. This is a Blackblade Reforged. Maybe we just get that. We need people to start dying. We don't really have evasion, though. That's the problem with that. Swiftfoot Boots? Yeah, maybe Swiftfoot Boots. We do have a problem with our things being shot, so get some boots next turn. Also, that makes Kakusho an attacker in the air. Luminant. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're out of sack outlets. Oh, why can't the sack outlets ever survive? 2 Luminants this game? Are they both the same Luminant, or did like one go to the graveyard or get bounced? Oh, it might have got bounced from the Rift. Yeah, that's probably what happened. I wonder if they just like have to go after the opposition agent, kind of on principle. Would love it if they hit that Thassa's Oracle. They could go after the Grey Merchant too, and that would slow down our plans quite a bit. Kodama trigger, yep. They're going for the Grey Merchant. That's unfortunate. That was our win condition. I'm gonna have to do it all with Kakusho now, and oh man, slow. It has been very slow. What else is in the deck? What can we get with this Worldly Tutor? What's Fiend Artisan do? Oh, yeah, we're not in a great spot as our actual win conditions are gone. Kakusho's the only one left and we need to keep it alive. The other thing, I guess, is we could just make everyone sack into Oblivion. But even then, we just don't have a lot of damage. Opponents' life totals are still really high. Turn 12, 25, 16, 30. It's a lot. I guess we could get them for like 10 a turn with 2 Kakushos, but that's still, oh my. A lot of stuff just happened over there. That's a Hornet Queen. Nylea's online. This might bring some damage somewhere. I mean, we're probably on the chopping block. We have 53 life. The question is, do they motion to also do some damage to everyone else in the process? We may have to start with a Damnation or a Toxic Deluge. They have quite a bit in play now. 6 over to Eric, and 5 our way. We'll just take the 5. Not at all worried about that. Stolen strategy. Hopefully not our Kakusho. Elves of Deep Shadows, that's fine. Mother of Ruins is annoying, though. Helm of the Host is a card. It'd be funny if they went Arden, Mom, Helm of the Host on Mom, and just make multiple Mother of Ruins. That'd be funny. Fish drawing some cards. I don't love that. Yeah, there's the Arden. Arden trigger, Helm of the Host. Oh, does that not work the right way with that? No, it does if you stack it right. I always forget about that. Wait, can you? Oh, you can attach stuff. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. I foresee a problem. Opponent has put Helm of the Host on this Luminant Primordial. We getting exiled? Oh, opponent's going to exile it so it doesn't go through. Not looking to get exiled themselves. I can appreciate that as this game is already getting very long. Also, we're not going to get more of our stuff exiled. Yeah, that's probably about 10 cards in exile. Important ones at that. Reality Shift on Opposition Agent. Yeah, that's a thing that has to happen. We manifest. It is a land. Not helpful. Yeah, that's crazy. I never knew the Helm of the Host and Arden interaction. You can copy your opponent's stuff. That's pretty sweet. I kind of want to do that now. Sword on Esior. It's like a Blood Artist in our deck or something. Blood Artist would be helpful. Negative on the Blood Artist. 5 our way, yeah. That is commander damage, though. Makes it a little scarier. Arden is actually more threatening than what we have, but our deck is overall more threatening, so curious to see what they do with this Fire and Ice. Goes for the Livio. Doesn't want any more of the Livio nonsense. They're going to exile the Hornet Queen. Reconnaissance Mission. Draws a card. Brings it back to our turn. We're going to Worldly Tutor. This might draw out the Arcane Denial, though. We are going to pay for the Rhystic Study. Fish is going to get us with an Aven Mind Sensor. Not ideal. Didn't see that coming. Oh, we got there anyway. Kakusho is in the top 4. Love it. Love it. Well, that is awesome. I don't know if that's ever happened before. Sylvan Library. Use the ability. Yeah, give us the cards. We need the cards. There's another sack outlet, thank God. And a Liliana is also cool. Play a Swamp. Cast Kakusho. Let's see if this eats the Arcane Denial. Probably should have did that in the opposite order. Sack outlet first, just in case. We'll pay. Carrion Feeder. They can draw. Mystic Snake on the Carrion Feeder. We can get it back at the end step, but if we do that, that means we can't also get Kakusho. Surprised they counter the... I mean, countering the Zakat load is definitely good, but surprised they didn't use that on the Kakusho. They're down to 1 mana, though, so they don't have Arcane Denial mana anymore. Pay 1 for the study. Boots. Not paying. Boots on Kakusho. They're going to Pongify Kakusho. That is a destroy, not an exile, so I mean, I guess it just happens. Kakusho, Meren trigger. Each opponent's going to lose some life. We're going to lose the boots, probably, because Eric's probably going to die. Man, I really want to get the boots on Meren, but we have to give up the high market to do it. I mean, the boots are probably going to go away, so... Opponents are tapped out. I think we're good for at least this turn. Get back the Kakusho. Pass like that. Lena Selfless Champion is a card. It's a Rex Sage for opponent. Opponent's going to Rex Sage our boots. It's unfortunate. Did spend time and effort getting those boots. Was really hoping to take Fish down a peg. Fish, I mean, I get it, we're scary, but Fish is also a little scary. Just a lot of pieces mounting over there. There's 3 Kodama triggers off the tokens, but those are zeros. Opponent's turn, Stolen Strategy. Told opponent they can copy Kakusho if they want, because I want our opponents to start dying faster. And that'll make that happen. Opponent hits Mystic Confluence and Lurking Predators. Both nasty. I'd prefer to not get our stuff bounced. Opponent goes to combat. Arden, Helm of the Host. Gonna put a Helm of the Host on Kakusho. I told them they could. It's on. There's the Helm of the Host trigger. Opponent gets themselves a Kakusho. It's got haste. I was gonna swing it over to Flintlock, sure. Oh right, Kodama has Reach, in case you forgot that, because I definitely did. I do hate it when they put Reach on green creatures, especially the big ones. If it's like Giant Spider, that's fine, but, you know. When it's already like the most broken 6-mana 6/6 in the format, it doesn't also need Reach. Multani was pretty annoying for a while, but that one has drifted out of fashion just a little bit. But yeah, when I was trying to do Aurelia stuff, Multani is just hard to get through. It gets really big. And they often shoot your Feast and Famine early in the game, and you know, 4 years ago, it was much harder to get a Feast and Famine back. It blocks, Kakusho dies, here's the trigger. Gets the other opponents a little lower, though they do gain life back themselves. I'll take the killing of 2 opponents and then just deal with 1 in the 1v1. 1v1 will be much more manageable. Knight of the White Orchid. Dousing Dagger. 2 more Kodama triggers from the plant tokens. That's an Ixodron. That is unfortunate. What's this one face down? Turn all other non-token creatures face down. Yeah, sacrifice Kakusho. Marin. Probably going to drop that board wipe now, since we'll want to get our commander back. Opponent's at 10, 15, and 15. Slowly getting there. Kakusho slowly doing the work. Mirror Entity is a magic card. 5 open mana. That can be some damage. We're at 61, though, so we're probably fine. 6 open mana? Yep, there's the Mirror Entity trigger. X was 5. They are all 5/5s. See what they want to do. Everything our way. Course. Protection from blue and red. Nope, all of our stuff is colorless. Oh, cool, that one can't be turned face down. Block with our commander. And I guess we just block. Yeah, we're probably just going to board wipe, so. Just block everything. We probably can't Damnation and recast our commander, unfortunately. Reconnaissance missions, Skull Clamp, back to the command zone. Could use a big draw. I don't know if there's really anything left, though. Another Reanimate spell would be cool. Jewel Lotus helps with the casting. Oh man, wish we had a Blood Artist. If we had a Blood Artist, these board wipes would be good game. Brings it back to our turn. Sylvan Library trigger. You know, we never found that Cabal Coffers. That'd be pretty helpful if we did. He used the ability. Alter and Attrition. Attrition is cool. Well, I don't know if that's really what we need, but yeah, just pay the life. We have a lot of life. Fixin' to get more. Play the Windswept Teeth. Crack the Windswept Teeth. Last Forest. Jewel Lotus. Heuristic Study. Not paying. Deluge. 10/10 is the biggest. Paying 10 life. Heuristic Study. Marin's going to be on 10 mana, I think. Yeah, we can pay for this one. Opponent's going to activate Nylea. That's fine. We've been sitting on that Deluge all game. Opponents played a lot of their own removals, so we didn't have to. Yeah, we can pay. Bunch of creatures getting blown up. Very sad we don't have a Blood Artist. Cast our commander. Use the Jeweled Lotus, so that way we can equip Skull Clamp and all that stuff. Heuristic Study. Paying. Equip Skull Clamp. And we'll pass like that. Meren, end step trigger, get Kakusho. Pass like that. Opponent's life total's getting low. Starting to get into Kakusho range. We did spend a lot of life that turn. I think we started at 60, and now we're at 37. Toxic Deluge. There was something, Sylvan Library. A lot of life lost, but when you have a lot of life, you can spend it as a resource. Livio coming back. Study. Fish is going to have a lot of cards. So it's turn 14. We're on 15 lands right now, which all things considered is a little bit less than I expected. We didn't have, because we got disrupted early, we didn't get those extra activations with the Tribe Elder. So, you know, I would have expected that we had probably 2 or 3, probably about at least 3 more than the land count by this point. But we've actually been a little bit slow with the lands. But 2 of our opponents aren't anywhere close to the turn count with their mana. Fish has done well, though. Actually, Fish is at 14, so 1 behind us, but still much better than our opponents. Norn's Annex, sure. Helm of the Host, nothing doing. That's an Hour of Revelation. That will kill Kakusho. But it'll also kill a lot of other important stuff. It's not the best. Though, it blows up a lot of Fish's things, which do make me happy. This is easily one of the most removal-heavy games that I have played in a long time. Kakusho trigger. Meren trigger. Skull Clamp trigger. It's going to be the last of our card draw for a bit, though. At least we can F6. Assassin's Trophy is cool. Draneth Magistrate will definitely get hit by this Assassin's Trophy. Actually, we could hit it with a Flesh Bag, too. Oh, that's a Time Spiral. No. Oh, that messes up our graveyard, too. That's not good. It's not good. Had most of the cards we needed. Now we gotta go find them again. Time Spiral. What do we get? Eldritch Evolution gets us to something. It's a sorcery. No creatures in our grave, which is not helpful. I can't believe we gotta dig for Kakusho again. We need a 4-drop, and there aren't that many of them in the deck. Marin. We just sacrifice Marin, but Marin is getting expensive. Sidar Kondo. That does complicate things a little bit, actually, because we only have this Plague Crafter in terms of removal. What's that Fiend guy do? Fiend Artisan. Sacrifice another creature, search your library for a creature with mana value X or less, put it onto the battlefield. That might be a reasonable thing to get. Although we would need a 0 creature to do that. Okay, that doesn't work. There's a Mana Crypt. You want what we can do? We can go Plague Crafter and then do it again. So play Twilight Mire, play Mana Crypt, Plague Crafter. What do we have at 5? Anything good? Just the Grey Merchant. Grey Merchant's gone. Anything at 3? Grim Hair Specs, draw more cards. Plague Crafter, sacrifice the creature. Persist the Plague Crafter. Oh, casting Marin doesn't do anything. Kakusho's gone. Although I guess we get Kakusho with... that's going to be an Aven Mind Sensor. Oh, that's another sack thing. That's not good. Yeah, sacrifice Plague Crafter. Wild Growth. Carrion Feeder. Eldritch Evolution. Sacrifice the Carrion Feeder. Get Fiend Artisan. We could probably get a lot done with Fiend Artisan. No, you have to sacrifice creatures. Yeah, okay. What does one do? That one will probably be good. Oh, are we out of... Nope, there's a Fleshback Marauder. Yeah, just get a Fleshback Marauder. I think we're 1 short of recasting Marin. Nope, we're more than 1 short. Play the Altar. Pass like that. Used a lot of cards. Opponent activates Nylea. Activates Nylea again. Opponent said there was a bug with Nylea. The Kogla did not go to their hand. It's just sitting on top of their library. That's unfortunate. They have now done it twice. They revealed it twice. Yep, it's not working. Farhaven out. Fintorn Elves. Scorn Villager. Vial Smasher coming in. I did point out to opponent. Vial Smasher looking pretty deadly. Other opponents at 5. Fish is at 10. Ghostly Prison. Yep. The pillow forting continues. That's another Hour of Revelation. We lose some mana production, which is annoying, but keeps blockers off the table. Though I guess Fish is who we're really after here. They'll probably drop down a creature after this. We lose Altar, Wild Growth, Mana Crypt, which, it's pretty good mana. It's going to take just about everything to recast Marin. Opponents lose more, though. Ghostly Prison. There's a Weathered Wayfarer, yep. A blocker. Couple creatures for Flintlock. Esior coming back. Back to our turn. We can turn this off. Gemstone Cavern is not what we needed. Recast Marin. We should check to see how much this is. That was 12. Recast Marin for 12. It has been a long time since I have spent that much recasting a commander. Go to the end step. We're going to get the Carrion Feeder just because it'll stay in play. Just want creatures I can attack with at this point. We've got a 1/1. That can get bigger. Livio coming back for a lot of mana. Looks like 10. What'd the Command Zone guys say about recasting commanders? You cast your commander like 1.7 times a game or something like that? Not to say that this is a typical game. This game is very unusual. But yeah, I mean, there are games where you'll cast your commander more than twice. So it happens less and less than it used to. But Livio is a 7/7. I didn't see how that happened. Oh, they used Opal Palace while doing it. That's funny, actually. Livio is now giant. Oh, it's a wrath of God. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, this game is never gonna end. Someone just fired off a flawless maneuver. I assume that's... Oh, that was fish. Not exactly bringing the damage there. I was hoping the Livio was gonna survive just because that's damage that someone can put somewhere, and... Back to the command zone. Erebos coming back. No more life gain. I like that. I like that. Opponents are on the 1 yard line and we just can't get there. Erebos will keep them there. Beckon Call. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, this turn you may draw a card. And they cast both halves, so they make 4/1/1 birds. So a bunch of birds, draw a bunch of cards. Yeah, seems good. Card draw this late. Can win games. Toski? Oh, that's more card draw. Don't love that. Yeah, we're going to have to be quick about things now. And just getting back Fleshbag doesn't do much with the 1/1s in play. Would love to see that Moonlight Bargain I put into the deck. Could use 5 cards right now. Opponents send in 2 damage over to Flintlock. They're going to cast an Enlightened Tutor. It's because so they can draw with Toski. Getting a Strixhaven Stadium. That will speed this game up. 2 Toski triggers. Strixhaven Stadium coming in. Yeah, we're going to need to watch out for that. That's how you die from 52. They put a counter on it. I think they can get it to 8 next turn. They find haste more. That's Kakusho. Yeah, Kakusho's cool. Also, our commander cost a full 10 more than its original casting cost. I don't think we have that much left. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, we're 3 short on that. Next turn. Here's what that looks like. 12 green black. Pass the turn. If we can untap with Meren next turn, we should have it. We sack Kakusho, do 5 to everyone, and then if Meren's in play, bring back Kakusho, and I think we're good. He's back in black. Kodama coming in, yep. Scavenging Ooze is not great for us. They don't have any... Yeah, they don't have any green mana up, though. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to sack Kakusho at some point. Just take him out, but... Channeler Initiate. Sure. Oh, that can make colored mana. That's a concern for us. It is summoning sick, though. If you guys didn't play Commander 10 years ago, this is what games 10 years ago were like. They would all go this long because creatures just weren't that good. Opponent's going to send a 5/6 our way. That's fine. I'm not looking for Kakusho to die just yet. Opponent said they played that turn real bad. Yeah, they could have left green mana up. All that really does, though, that doesn't stop them from dying, but it does stop us from killing opponents with Kakusho. The question is whether you do that or not. We are the archenemy deck, so sure. On the other hand, this game is really long. The clock now is 2 hours and 43 minutes, so extremely long. It'll be much shorter with editing because there's been just a lot of dead space this game. Some games that get this long, there's like a lot going on. This one's just been like people holding up priority. You'll notice not a lot of time left on the clocks. 20 minutes, 23, 16, 24. A lot of everyone just holding up priority. We had a hold up for the high market. Livio had a hold up. Fish had a counter earlier. They never used the Arcane Denial. That was interesting. It's going to be a Parasitic Implant. It gets +2/+2 and is goaded. Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. That is more damage. That's what we want. Will force us into Fish, though. Wow, no follow-up play? At least recast Vial Smasher or something. 1 counter on the Strixhaven Stadium. Gotta be careful. Currently 7 attackers. Uses the thing, so that's... Yep. That's 7/2 is 9. They are very close. Hey, everything our way. Be another board wipe. Block the Esior. Reality Shift on Kakusho. Yeah, we're going to sacrifice it. Surprised they didn't do that before blockers. 1 more Kakusho death trigger to go. Flintlock finally goes down. First player down. Turn 17. 2 players at 5 life left. High Market been doing work for us this game. We have not been able to keep our sack outlets in play. High Market has been really carrying the load for us. There's a bunch of Strixhaven and a bunch of Toski triggers. Oh, please don't be a counter. Reanimate off the top would be cool, because then we could go Marin, try Reanimate, get through a counter that way. 8 counters on the Strixhaven Stadium. Yeah, I mean, we can't survive another round of that. And unfortunately, we lost our attacker, so we can't knock a point down. The Marin plays really got to work. Fish drew a lot of cards, which it's good and it's bad. The good side is that, like, if they just spend all of their mana trying to get more stuff in play, then there's a Kami. Like, basically if they tap out because they have a lot of cards to cast. The problem is if they get interaction and can interact with what we're doing. There's a Narset. Yep. Look at the top 4. Migratory Route. That's fine. Hopefully they cast that. Ties up a lot of mana. Migratory Route. They still have a lot of mana left. They just have a lot of mana. 8 cards. Myriad Landscape. Not what we need. Try Meren. Hope it sticks. For 14. Play the land. Go to the end step. If they have removal here, we can scoop. Because we'll just die to the Strixhaven Stadium. Yep, there's a Rift. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The issue here is that there was not a good way to close out the game. If we had anything worth getting, Blood Artist is all it would have taken. Falcon Wrath Noble. Easily win the game from there. Or just like other big things at the top. There was a Torment of Hailfire in the deck that would have won it. Never saw that one, unfortunately. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you don't need to make a Meren deck any stronger, but if you wanted to, a little more card draw, I think, especially the like more spell-based stuff. There's a lot of the engine-based stuff in here already with Skull Clamp and Yawgmoth and all that. And that's all fine, but I like to have a little bit of spell-based that's just unconditional draw, basically. I guess there's a Guardian Project right there. And honestly, I think the curve's a little too efficient. Like, you're a Reanimator deck. Also, there's very little reanimation in the deck, other than Reanimate. So, like, yeah, you could have a couple bigger creatures up here. You don't need a ton, but, like, you know, Villas. If you're running Razaketh, you probably want Villas also. That also solves your card draw thing and is removal. There's many 6-drops that you could have to go after. Even like a Bane of Progress might have been nice somewhere in this game. Fish had a lot of value from the card draw stuff. Or, like, if you're not looking to make it, like, that much stronger, you can just, like, find the biggest, dumbest, timmiest creature you want and, like, reanimate that. I was thinking about, like, what would that be? Spirit of the Night would be a pretty funny card. I did look it up, though. They're, like, $12 because I think they're on the reserve list. And it's definitely not worth $12 in terms of its ability, but it's a pretty cool card. Back in the day, it was, like, one of the first big creatures that didn't have a downside. It was just a ton of mana. Like, every big creature before that was just horrendous. Like, Lord of the Pit, Force of Nature, all that sort of stuff. This one was just like, okay, there's no downside, but it is a lot of mana. But you just reanimate it, and no big deal. Or, you know, whatever the biggest dumb green creature you want is. Yeah, there needs to be a little bit more to close out the game if you want to make it stronger. If you're trying to hold back, then this is fine. I would probably put like more fun stuff in if I were doing that. That being the case, I would just like reanimate weird old fun creatures. But yeah, if you're trying to make it spikier, Blood Artist. So here's the thing. So after that game, like, I know we didn't win, but if opponents had like one less removal spell, we would have won, right? There were like 47 removal spells this game, and that is atypical. Think about the last game that you played where you recast your commander for 10 more than its casting cost. That's a good indicator of how atypical this game was, and at any point, if opponents are one piece of spot removal short, we win this game through just a variety of means. Like, at any point, if Meren stayed in play one turn longer, I think we had it. And so, like, the thing is, over the course of this game, this incredibly long game, like, even when we had only lands in play, I just wasn't worried. And, like, we almost got there at the end. If Fish ran out of removal right at the end, we get Kakusho back, sack Kakusho, game's over. So, like, yeah, I wasn't worried at all in the game. Even with only lands in play, it was just like, it doesn't matter what happens. Like, we're gonna cast Meren, and we're gonna rebuild, and what we're doing will probably be better than what our opponents are doing. And it's weird too, because it's like, most decks need to attack at least a little bit, and like with this deck, I mean, one, it's not very good at attacking. These creatures just don't attack well. But two, like, we just don't care. Like, it's such a non-interactive type deck. Like, it's just, I want to just sit and reanimate all my stuff until I win, right? And that probably also plays into why I just don't care for Meren, because it's like, it's a deck that just sits back and then it's just like, oh, I win now. And also, like, if we ran into a Torment of Hellfire, easy win. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the deck. You know, even though I had my like 10 minutes or so of like complaining about Meren, I actually didn't hate playing the deck other than the fact that this game was just really long. This game is nearly 3 hours now. 2 hours, 56 minutes. So other than that, like, the experience playing Meren was fine, but it is incredibly boring to me, right? Like, I'm like, oh, we can just always do the thing that we need to do, and we'll probably win. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.
I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have 2 new Patreon supporters in Sergeant Flintlock and Cha Ceremony. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon.